Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Model Kit Review. In today's episode, we are going to be looking at one of Eduard's earlier World War II aircraft kits, and it is the Lavochkin La-7. It's in 1/48 scale, and this kit was originally produced by Eduard for a company called Gavia. This is actually the Gavia boxing, and it's roughly equivalent to the Eduard Profi Pack kit. In this model kit review, we're going to be looking at the built-up kit. We'll also take a look at the kit instructions. We'll talk about the surface detailing on the kit and the interior detailing, the detail on the small parts of the aircraft as well. We'll also talk about the decals that are included in the kit and the clear parts on the kit. I'll also go over any modifications or additions that I made to the kit, and then I'll give my conclusions at the end. In this review, we're going to be asking the question, is this Eduard La-7 an easy Eduard kit? Eduard has a reputation of building somewhat fiddly kits that are quite parts heavy and very, very detailed, and we'll see if this early Eduard kit fits that reputation. Looking at the kit instructions, there is a page dedicated to the parts layout. The parts in this kit come on 3 separate sprues. One of those is a clear sprue. As we move into the instructions, step 1 covers assembling the air intake ducts and some wheel well detail. Step 2 is adding detail to the instrument panel. There is no decal included for the instrument panel, but I have detail painted that, and that came out pretty nice. Step 3 has you adding the seat and the armor backing to the rear bulkhead of the aircraft. As far as the interior detail goes, everything looks really nice if you assemble it and give it a wash to bring out what detail is there. I did add some photo etch seat belts, and those are the Eduard pre-painted belts. Step 5 covers assembling the wing and then adding some interior detail to the top of the wing. I actually like the simplicity of the way this kit is broken down. If you look at the top of the wings, there's really not much surface detailing there, and that's actually accurate for the aircraft. It was a smooth plywood for the outer wing and rear fuselage surfaces. Steps 6 through 8 cover the front of the engine. They also cover the assembly of the prop and spinner and the assembly of the tail wheel. I drilled out the end of the cannon barrels in front of the engine. Step 9 covers installing the interior into the fuselage halves. There's not a lot of positive locators, and so you want to take your time, make sure you have everything aligned properly. Especially with the tail wheel, you really want to get this part of the assembly correct, and I would suggest beefing up the area where the tail wheel mounts and just make sure that connection is very solid. The way that it's mounted, it would not take much of a drop to break that tail wheel off inside the fuselage, and there would be no way to mount that properly once that breaks off. Steps 10 through 12 cover the tail planes and the cockpit canopy. Step 13 is mounting the fuselage onto the wing. This also covers the top of the engine cowl, it covers the nose, covers the tail planes. One thing you may want to check is the angle of the tail wheel doors just to make sure you get that correct. It looks like they would be glued in the straight down position, but I think it's much more splayed outwards when those are open. Steps 14 and 15 cover assembling the landing gear and the wheels. This kit comes with nice wheel masks that makes painting the wheels easier. Step 16 covers installing the landing gear onto the underside of the aircraft. It also covers the landing gear doors and the oil cooler underneath the aircraft. Fit here was great. I did not have any issues. The wheel well detail looks nice. It looks like it does on the real aircraft. There are 2 pages dedicated to showing how to mask the kit. Included in this kit were canopy mask, wheel mask, and then another mask to paint the triangles on the front of the nose. I use these masks and they work really nicely. There are 3 marking options included in this kit. The first one is White 27, and it's for Major Kozadub. The next plane is White 12. That was flown by Major Kosolopov. The third plane is a Czechoslovakian La-7 of the 1st Fighter Air Regiment. The decals on this kit went down great. I had no issues with them. The only thing I added that wasn't included was the white surround on the front triangles on the engine cowl. There's a very famous set of propaganda photos with Ivan Kozadub by White 27, And it's widely thought that this plane is not actually the one that he flew in combat, but it's just a La-7 that they made kind of a show pony out of, specifically for the photos. I airbrushed the camouflage pattern by hand. I freehanded that. I did the weathering on this plane with artist pastels and with a silver Prismacolor colored pencil. The La-7 was really my favorite of the World War II era Soviet fighters. It has almost a racer type look to it, and it's a small aircraft. I just love the look of this kit on the shelf. I think it turned out so nicely, and it's one of my favorite kits just to go and look at. In conclusion, is the Eduard La-7 an easy Eduard kit? Well, I have to say it's much easier than their later BF-109E kits. It is not parts heavy. The only thing that makes this a little bit tricky is the lack of positive locator marks on some of the parts. But if you have a few kits under your belt and you sturdy that tail wheel up a bit and get a good fit on that, everything else really does go together well. I didn't have to use putty on this build. I took my time and I dry fitted the parts before committing to glue. If you're looking to tackle your first Eduard kit, I would say this is a great one to start with. Highly recommended. Overall parts fit on this kit was great. The clear parts are transparent. The decals work very nicely. And really what was included in the box with the canopy mask and the masking for the paint job and all of the other nice little details in the kit really made this a fairly low stress build. Well, I'd love to know what you guys think. If any of you have built the Eduard or Gavia La-7 previously, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. As always, I hope you found this video entertaining and informative, and until next time, model on.